I have, let's see, who do I have? Let me look here just a minute at my, let me let you listen to the founder himself. Take a listen.
Armed with a keen business sense and biblical principles, he took a tiny Atlanta diner and transformed it into Chick-fil-A, the nation's second largest quick-serve chicken restaurant chain. With more than $2.5 billion a year in sales and more than 1,300 locations.
Now he has nearly 2,000 locations and he is well over $2 billion. Continue to listen.
He has gone down in food service history. Dino and Cheryl Katsanakis welcome Chick-fil-A founder Truett Cathy.
I am telling you, Mr. Cathy, God has just blessed you abundantly, hasn't he?
Well, he has indeed. He started working on me when I was very early. I went in the restaurant business at age 8.
8 years old.
And I met my wife at age 8. We didn't get married at that time, but we got married at that time, and I became a Christian at 12. So I've had a lot going for me, and I felt God's hand on me and to give me direction, being in the restaurant business, almost like being in divine calling or divine business, feeding, furnishing people food, which is essentials to life, you know.
That you do cook chicken, but you cook it only on 6 days. What happens on that 7th day?
Well, we tell our customers they'll visit, eat with us 6 days a week, let them eat somewhere else on Sunday. But this is a policy we established back in 57 years ago, closing on Sunday. And so I make the statement oftentimes it's probably the best business decision I ever made.
Did you, when you made a decision not to open on Sunday, did you notice a difference in the business as far as the income and so on?
Now, folks, I don't care what he says at this point. When he made the decision to open on Sunday, he wasn't making a decision back then. Nobody opened on Sunday. And as I said a moment ago, you still have blue laws in effect in Georgia now. And blue laws, if you're familiar with them, they used to restrict this kind of commerce on Sunday. And so no one really was selling anything on Sundays for the most part. But continue to listen as he takes the praise.
Did that have a great effect on the finances, honoring
well,
the Lord's
I
Day?
I feel like people eat more often with us during the 6 days than they would open 7 days.
But we appreciate the stand that you do.
Now here, the scroll is actually saying that he's the 380th richest person in the United States in 2009.
Did take, because you do believe in going to church on Sundays. I mean, I
thought for a moment, then I said, well, I'd like to be thought of that I kept my priorities in the proper order. You know, sometimes we can get so engrossed in the business and the rewards there, and then we forget about the important things.
Now, did you hear that? He wanted to be remembered as a person who had his priorities in order. Now, we're going to put this show in its parts up on the internet, on YouTube. And we're going to send, I'm going to send another update. I've already sent a letter to Dan Cathy telling him, stand up, Mr. Cathy. Be a champion for family values, for marriage, traditional marriage and family, the traditional family, the biblical family. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. We're going to title it in such a way that we hope that it will get their attention. I'm going to send them the email so that they can see it. And I'm going to ask Truett Cathy to tell his son Dan, be a man who will be remembered for having your priorities in the right place. Your dad's already the 380th richest person in the United States, and you won't be a champion. You claim that God has been this good to you, and your franchise will not champion the position of traditional marriage and family values that the Bible promotes. You're actually going to back down to the homosexual community? Listen, what we have to do, folks, in this nation is we have to stand together on something. In the marketplace, we're going to have to stand up and we're going to have to let our dollars talk. You already know that you're not going to have your politicians doing it. Homosexuals have already gotten into the political arena too. We have guys that are homosexuals up in the Congress and in the Senate. Barney Frank is an open homosexual. Have individuals up there praying at 9/11 talking about God bless America, and you got homosexuals up there having God on their lips. That's not going to work. It is not going to please God. What we're going to have to do is those of us who believe in the biblical definition of a marriage, a man and a woman, those individuals are the persons who are candidates for marriage. Those who believe in the biblical position for the family and marriage are going to have to stand together. Now the question is, are we going to stand together and help Chick-fil-A? When you go through Chick-fil-A, you don't have to necessarily tell them, but it would really be good. It might help Mr. Brady to stand up for core values of the restaurant franchise that he's in. Don't let these individuals try to tell you that they're not for these values. They have, what is it called, Wind Shape? They have a charitable, a non-profit charitable institution called Wind Shape. They have retreats for their employees, and this is how they got into trouble. They were actually, there was a retreat that was going on, not Wind Shape, but it was a retreat that was going on in Pennsylvania, and they began to, Chick-fil-A was going to give them free food, and the homosexual community got into it and challenged them to let the homosexuals come in. They said no, and then they turned around and caved. You're on What's the Bible Say? Religious Review.
Yes, sir. This is Eric from Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
And I just wanted to ask, what would be a good way to get in contact with some of these people to let them know, that we would be behind them or in their effort to stand for what traditional marriage is about.
Okay, I got my notification, Eric, from One News Now. It's a website that I think, One News Now.
One News Now, okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that that's associated with the American Family Association. And if you get on there, I'm fairly certain that they're still covering this, and there should be a link where you can send Dan Cathy an email and tell him that you want to back him up, and you're going to tell everybody you know, because the homosexuals are actually trying to run a boycott right now down in Florida against the Chick-fil-A, and it's just a crying shame that persons who have values that we have and represent 90% of the nation can't do the same.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, thank you, and I'll be sure and write them.
Okay, let me know.
All right.
All right, thanks for the call. All right, now, folks, just to demonstrate, that's Kentucky. There's a person from Kentucky. Before I went off a while ago, we had Asheville, North Carolina on the line. Now, here's the question. Are we going to draw a line in the sand and basically say, look, enough is enough? Somebody has got to stand up. Now, we're trying to stand up. You think this is not difficult for us? Basically, in the Christian so-called community, we're by ourselves. That was G. Craig Lewis a moment ago in Dallas-Fort Worth area. I don't know him. I don't know what he's doing right now. But I do know in this area, nobody is standing up. Individuals are not opposing homosexuality. Homosexuals are on the choirs and the singers in lots of these denominations around. Individuals do not ask, they do not tell. They just pay the good musicians. Nobody is standing up against this. The churches of Christ, and only a few of the churches of Christ in the area, are actually standing up. Everybody else is afraid. Do you not realize where we are in the United States today? Everybody else is afraid. Let's go through this, and let's actually see what took place. This is Windy City Media Group. It is a group out of Chicago. In the wake of the initial controversy, Dan Cathy sent out a press release January 29, which stated, "We will not champion any political agendas on marriage and family. This decision has been made, and we understand the importance of it. At the same time, we will continue to offer resources to strengthen marriage and families. To do anything different would be inconsistent with our purpose and belief in the Bible principles." Let me tell you something, Dan. For you to back off of being a champion for family and for marriage is not consistent with belief in the Bible and the principles in the Bible. The Bible tells you that you are to defend your faith. You have to stand up, and your dad's the 380th richest person in the United States. Can't you take a hit? And we're basically saying here in the United States, we're going to try to help you. Somebody's going to start it. Somebody's going to say that we'll eat chicken in order to stand up against the homosexual community. In Texas, that's something else that I brought up. Let's look together at this. Matters reached a head again when Gay published, this is a magazine or a newspaper or some website, published an email correspondence from someone there identifying, their identifying information was blacked out, who wrote to Wind Shape, which is an organization associated with Chick-fil-A, representative asking if the foundation's program were open to gay couples. The eventual answer was, "We do not accept homosexual couples because of statement in our contract." Yet, in an interview with the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, the paper said he explicitly stated that Wind Shape Foundation does not bar gay couples from its marriage retreats or training. Okay. On the one hand, they were saying, no, you can't get in if you're a homosexual and you're not married in the biblical way. Then they turned right around and gave into it to the Atlanta Journal. Well, Atlanta or Georgia is the home of this institute. So the company's Wind Shape Foundation, which has trained hundreds of couples, does not bar couples from its marriage retreats or training, Cathy said. But he added, the curriculum is designed for heterosexual couples. Listen, folks, you can't get married in the United States if you are the same sex. Now, why is it that Mr. Cathy is afraid to stand up for the same principles that the United States